Hello, magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Welcome to our program dito po sa Let's Talk with Luz Cruz. And today, let's have wisdom in a tube. Sa araw na ito ay magre-review po tayo ng ating ilang mga napag-aralan nung tayo ay nag-aaral pa sa elementary at sa high school para masariwa sa atin yung ilang mga kaalaman na napag-aralan natin noon. Okay? Are you ready? So let's have wisdom in a tube. At antabayanan nyo lang ng konti. Ayan, okay. So let's exercise our mind. We have questions and answers with trivia. Magkakaroon din tayo rito ng konting kaalaman about entertainment, about amazing facts. Okay? So next, let's have our trivia. Ito, okay. Did you know the little Africa of the Philippines? Alam nyo ba ang meron pala sa Pilipinas na tinatawag na Little Africa of the Philippines? President Ferdinand Marcos created a safari park in the Philippines where you can see African animals such as giraffes, zebras, and antelopes. Hindi na kailangang pumunta ka sa Africa para makakita ka ng ganitong mga hayop. Pupunta ka lamang sa isang lugar sa Pilipinas at makikita na natin yan. Yan po ang tinatawag na Safari Park in Calauit Island in Palawan. The Calauit Island is located in Busuanga, Palawan, Philippines. It was declared as a game reserve and wildlife sanctuary by Presidential Proclamation number 1578 under the administration of President Ferdinand Marcos. Idineklara po niya yung lugar na yan ay isang wildlife sanctuary. It became a sanctuary to large African mammals that were translocated in response to an appeal by the International Union of Conservation of Nature or IUCN. Mayroong apila na ilipat yung mga ibang mga hayop na malalaki sa Africa kasi nasa kapanganib po sila. So ito po ay nailipat at pinayagan ni Presidente Marcos na yan ay madala dito sa Pilipinas. Yan na nga ang Safari Park in Calauit Island, Palawan. Ito po ay naglayon na i-save. This park was created to save the endangered animals in Kenya, Africa. It was also known as Savannah in the country. Calauit Island Wildlife Sanctuary is where both African wildlife and endemic Philippine animals live in their natural state with minimum human interference. Hindi sila masyadong napupuntahan ng mga tao, kaya sila po ay nakakapamuhay ng maayos ang kanilang kalagayan. The Safari Park in Calauit Island, Palawan has 3,700 hectares. Ito po ay binubuo ng 3,700 hektarya or 9,100 acres. The Safari Park in Calauit Island, Palawan is a home to many species of African animals like gazelles, giraffes, impalas, waterbucks, and zebras, as well as Philippine animals like bearcat, Calamian deer, sea turtle, Palawan peacock pheasant, and Philippine pangolin or balintong, among others. So napakarami pong mga hayop na makakita tayo dyan sa Safari Park in Calauit Island, Palawan. Okay, ito po ang mga halimbawa sa mga hayop na nandyan. Merong zebra, ayan, makikita natin yung Palawan bearcat, yung Palawan peacock pheasant, yung deer, ayan, meron din tayong sea turtle, gazelles, yan. Ito po ay photo credit from Google Images. Okay. The African Safari, Africa versus Calauit Island Safari. So ayan, nakikita natin sa picture, yung African Safari, nasa Africa po yan, yung mga hayop na yan. At meron naman din yan dito sa Palawan, dito sa Kalawit Island Safari natin dito sa Pilipinas. Okay. Now, another reviewer. Ito. Alam ba ninyo kung ano yung phlebotomist? Phlebotomist. What is a phlebotomist? Yan. Pagka narinig natin yung salita na yan na phlebotomist, niisip natin, ano ba yan? Yan ba ay ambulance driver? Yan ba ay isang tao na nagtatrabaho with frogs? A person who works with frogs? Is he a journalist who studies economics? No. A phlebotomist is a technician who collects blood from patients. Alam niyo yung mga kumukuha ng dugo sa atin, halimbawa, iba-blood test tayo. No? Yung palang mga kumukuha ng dugo sa atin na yan, ang tawag dyan ay phlebotomist. Okay. A phlebotomist is a highly trained technician who works in laboratories, hospitals, clinics, blood donation centers, and doctors' offices. They are responsible for collecting blood and other specimens to be submitted to medical laboratories for testing as well as for blood donations. Ayan. Sila yung kumukuha po ng dugo sa atin. Kung minsan kailangan nating i-test yung dugo, dinadala nila sa mga medical laboratories para i-test. Sila din po yung kinakasangkapan sa mga blood donations. Sila yung mga taong eksperto sa pagkuha ng dugo para sa mga blood donations. Okay. Phlebotomists in the United States must attend a formal course of study, which includes classroom, laboratory, and practical training and education. Ayan, nag-aaral talaga sila. Kasi hindi naman talaga po pwede na kahit papaano na lang, kahit sino na lang kukuha ng dugo, hindi ba? Baka mamaya masapanganib ang buhay ng taong kinukuhanan ng dugo. Dapat yan ay well-trained. A phlebotomist is a well-trained technician who works in laboratories, hospitals, and clinics, and blood donation centers para mag-extract ng blood from a donor. Okay. Now, about Mars. For our information, why does Mars appear red? Bakit kulay pula ang Mars? Yan. Anong reason? Dahil ba ang Mars ay covered with molten lava? Is it because Mars is covered with molten lava? Is it because Mars is covered with little red aliens? Kagaya ng paniniwala ng iba kung minsan na meron daw alien sa Mars. Kagaya ng bata pa kami, may mga palabas na parang pinapaniwala ang tao na merong mga alien sa Mars. Yun ba ang reason? Kaya yan kulay pula? Is it because it's reflecting the heat of the sun? No. Mars is color red or it appears red because it is covered with iron oxide dust. Parang rust, parang kalawang. Kaya po yan ay kulay pula dahil yan ay nababalot ng iron oxide dust. Okay. What is another name for Mars? Red planet. Mars is called a red planet. And if you've ever seen it in the sky, when the planet is bright and close to the Earth, it appears like a bright red star. Even photos from spacecraft show that it has a rusty red color. The hue or the color comes from the fact that the surface is actually rusty, parang makalawang, as in it is rich in iron oxide. Mars's iron oxide would have formed a long time ago when the planet had more liquid water. This rusty material was transported around the planet in dust clouds, covering everything in a layer of rust. In fact, there are dust storms on Mars today that can rise up and consume the entire planet, obscuring the entire surface from our view. That dust really gets around. But if you look closely at the surface of Mars, you'll see that it has actually many different colors, not only red. Some regions appear bright orange, while others look more brown or even black. Okay? Now, about scientists. Ito, kilalang kilala natin to. Who was this man? Sino tong tao na to? Yan. René Descartes? Is he Voltaire? Johannes Kepler? The answer is, he is Isaac Newton. Yan po si Isaac Newton. Who was Isaac Newton? Okay, Isaac Newton, ito'y kilalang scientist. Alam ng mga estudyante yan. Elementary pa lang tayo, pinag-aaralan na natin yan. Sino si Sir Isaac Newton? He was born on December 25, 1642 and died on March 20, 1727. Isaac Newton was an English mathematician. Mahusay na mathematician, an astronomer. Yung astronomer, yung nag-aaral ng mga heavenly bodies, a theologian, a physicist, and an author, who is widely recognized as one of the most influential scientists of all time, and one of the key figures in the scientific revolution. Newton's Principia formulated the laws of motion and universal gravitation that dominated scientists' view of the universe over the next 3 centuries. He removed the last doubts over the heliocentric model of the solar system. He also built the first practical reflecting telescope. He made the first theoretical calculation of the speed of sound and made many contributions to the science of mathematics. Kaya sa lahat ng mga estudyante, hindi nakakalimutan si Isaac Newton. Yan. Okay, dito naman tayo. Brazil. Have you been to Brazil? Nakarating na ba tayo sa Brazil? Sana makabalik po kami dyan sa Brazil kung loloobin ng Panginoon. Brazil was once a colony of which European country? Alam nyo ba kung ano ang kasaysayan ng Brazil? Ito pala isang colony before ng isang European country. Which country was that? Is it Moldova, Montenegro, Monaco, or the answer is Portugal. Portugal. Okay. Yan ay minsan ay colony ng Portugal, ang Brazil. Kaya nga, di ba, ang kanilang salita ay Portuguese. Okay? Portugal established its first colony in Brazil in the 1530s. Noong mga panahon na yan, 1530. Colonists created sugarcane plantations along the coast and sent diamonds and gold back to Europe. Yan, nagtayo ng kanilang kolonya ang Portugal sa Brazil noon pong 1530. Gumawa sila ng mga taniman ng tubo, sugarcane plantation. At yung mga diamonds at saka gold, pinapadala nila yan sa Europe. Soon, people from West Africa were brought to Brazil to work as slaves. May mga tao na galing ng West Africa, dinala sa Brazil para maging alipin nila. Kaya po sa ngayon, sa kasalukuyan, mayroon pong mga black na Brazilians. Kasi pala nung araw, may mga tao talaga from West Africa, dinala nila diyan sa Brazil. Kaya ngayon, meron talagang lugar sa Brazil na maiitim ang mga tao. At awa ng Diyos, nakapunta rin kami doon eh. Hindi ko na matandaan pangalan ng lugar na yon na talagang mga black ang nandoon. Salvador yata yun, kung di ako nagkakamali. Merong ganun talagang pangyayari. Yung mga tao sa West Africa, they were brought to Brazil to work as slaves. The discovery of large inland gold reserves brought thousands of people from the coast and as far away as Europe to the interior of the country. So dahil dun sa nadiskubre yung mga inland gold reserves ng Brazil, maraming nagpuntahan po dyan sa Brazil from Europe. In 1789, Brazilians tried to kick out their Portuguese rulers. The rebellion was soon put down, but it started a movement toward independence. And by 1822, Brazil became a sovereign nation. Naging malaya ang Brazil noong 1822 mula sa kanilang colonizer na Portugal. Kings of Portuguese blood ruled until 1888, when military leaders and landowners expelled the king and Brazil became a federal republic. So yan pala ang Brazil. Okay? Now, ito naman, alam din natin to sa history, di ba? Nung araw, pinag-aaralan natin yan. Which was the first Japanese city bombed with an atomic bomb in the Second World War in 1945? Ano-ano yan? Yon, anong sagot dyan? Yan ba yung Nihama, Tokuhama, Okinawa? No, it is Hiroshima, Japan. Yan po ang unang syudad na binagsakan ng atomic bomb ng mga sundalong Amerikano noong World War II in 1945. And on August 6, 1945, during World War II, yung giyera na yan na 1945, ay yung World War II, yung giyera po na yan, nag-start po yan from 1939 up to 1945. Nangyari, nung panahon na yan, an American B-29 bomber dropped the world's first deployed atomic bomb over the Japanese city of Hiroshima. The explosion wiped out 90% of the city and immediately killed 80,000 people. Tens of thousands more later died of radiation exposure. Napakarami pong namatay dyan ng mga Japanese noong mga panahon na yan. Nung pasabugan o hagisan ng isang atomic bomb ang Hiroshima. 3 days later, another second the second B-29 bomber dropped another atomic bomb on Nagasaki. Sa Nagasaki naman, killing an estimated 40,000 people. Yan. So, ang nangyari, yung emperor ng Japan, si Emperor Hirohito, he announced his country's unconditional surrender in World War II via radio address on August 15, citing the devastating power of a new and most cruel bomb. Kasi noon lang natikman ng tao ang lupit ng atomic bomb. At yan po ay unang naranasan sa Japan, sa Hiroshima and Nagasaki, which resulted to the surrender of the Japanese Imperial Army under Emperor Hirohito. Kaya sumuko ang Japan noon. Kaya natapos ang World War II. Okay. Now, ito pa isa about entertainment naman. Did you know, alam nyo ba, na ang nasa likod pala ng maganda pala o nasa likod pala ng character nitong si Dory. Siguro napanood naman ninyo si Dory, di ba? Napanood niyo yan, si Dory? Yung sa Finding Nemo. Sino sa inyo ang hindi pa nakakapanood niyan? Yan, panoorin natin yan. The Filipino animator behind Dory. Ito po ay si Virginia Jeannie Cruz Santos, a UST graduate. Siya yung animator nung Dory, ni Dory, the forgetful bluefish in the film Finding Nemo. Okay. Si Virginia Jeannie Cruz Santos ay ipinanganak po sa Pasay City. When she was 3 years old, she migrated to Guam with her family, and she returned to the Philippines to finish her high school and college education due to her father's advice. She earned her degree in fine arts, major in advertising at the University of Santo Tomas in 1987. And she returned to Guam and pursued a career in advertising before shifting to animation. Her impressive portfolio includes Woody and Jessie the Cowgirl in Toy Story 2, Sully and Mike in Monsters Incorporated, and Dory from Finding Nemo as a successful animator for Pixar. In her interview with the Philippine Daily Inquirer last 2003, Jeannie shared her experience working on Dory, the forgetful bluefish, voiced by Ellen DeGeneres. It really appeals to me, the idea of this fish with short-term memory loss. Ellen DeGeneres was amazing. She has such a rich array of emotions in her voice. Ayan po. So yan yan po ang ating creator noong Dory. Yan. Sana meron kayong natutuhan dito sa ating mga facts na atin pong pinakita sa inyo ngayon. Ayan po yung mga reference list natin. Pwede naman ninyo kung tingnan. May mga references naman po tayo na makikita para po sa ating mga nabanggit sa inyo sa araw na ito. At I hope na meron tayong natutuhan kahit konti, nakapag-review tayo kahit konti sa ating Wisdom in a Tube. Maraming salamat po sa inyong pagsubaybay. Kung loloobin ng Panginoon, hanggang sa muli. Salamat po. Please like, share,